That woman still unaccounted for this morning. We're told she initially placed the 911 call and told police that she was going back into the home to help others get out safely. La Quinta Inn and Suites has been evacuated. Most of the guests have already checked into nearby hotels. Asked police about the relationship between the suspect and the victim. They say from all accounts they believe both were strangers up until last night here at Willie's Bar and Grill. Right here in front of me there are several semi-trucks that are here stuck along 694. The people who arrived exactly at midnight have waited a long time to have safe access to medical marijuana. The lake is named after John C. Calhoun, a former War Department secretary who helped bring Fort Snelling to Minnesota. He's also known for supporting slavery. All of this cold weather has people really anxious to start ice skating and ice fishing, but this time of the year, people also have to keep in mind ice safety. For nearly 5 decades, the Citizens Board has had the final say on whether to issue permits and require extensive environmental reviews. Board members and supporters say they aren't going down without a fight. Southwest High School is empty this morning, inside and outside, not even a police presence. The back and forth between Sun Country Airlines and its pilots union has been going on for about 5 years. The pilots say they are the lowest paid in the country. All we know at this time is that there is an officer involved shooting. We're not sure about the circumstances involving this incident. Who exactly has been hurt, that is still unknown at this time, but we can tell you that we saw a forensics unit on scene, so that means they are processing evidence. Eugene Boose was accused in the stabbing death of Samuel Denham in downtown Minneapolis. This is video here of his arrest. Parts of Carver County are left in pieces. Now that the storm has passed comes the most time-consuming task, the cleanup. Welcome to Watertown, heart of the Loose Line, now covered in downed trees, debris, and power lines. The damage overwhelming.
We heard cracking. Everything was just lit up. We could see some sparks from it.
Andrea Razor and her family moved in 3 weeks ago. Decorating has stopped. The cleanup is just beginning. The storm snapped trees like sticks. One of the biggest barely missed the house.
The top right here came from this tree up there that's looming right over the house.
In nearby Hollywood Township, the tornado destroyed almost everything in its path.
You can see everything coming.
Patty Falk and her husband watched the storm approach from the porch. They made it to safety just seconds before the storm passed over their home.
As soon as it started raining, it was a pouring rain hitting us, so that's when we went in.
They surveyed the damage last night, but daylight shed more light on the destruction. The roof of their home gone, their horse pen broken into pieces.
A lot of times horses will just run. So they had the option to leave, but they didn't, and I cannot explain that.
The boat didn't float. It was thrown across the yard. Insulation flew like feathers. The barn destroyed. The only thing not affected, the chickens.
I expected that when I came out this morning that I would find them deceased.
Looking at her property, her house, Patty is thankful no one was hurt.
It's replaceable.
It hasn't been a day in Hollywood, but like the storm, this too shall pass. And Patty and her husband have a weather recorder that tracks wind speeds. It recorded speeds up to 99 miles per hour before it blew off the house. Right now, the wind chill is sub-zero, and overnight temperatures plunged into negative territory as well. But it's not just these temperatures that are making people bitter. Wind gusts are pushing up the snow that's already on the ground, creating a new set of problems. Whiteouts are paralyzing drivers, forcing them off the roads. More than 650 accidents in Minnesota on Thursday prompted the state's Department of Transportation to advise people to stay home. A round of lake-effect snow buried the city of Buffalo, New York, dumping up to 6 inches more overnight. The temperature there is expected to reach just a frigid 19 degrees today, with wind chills as low as -10. A burst pipe in Indianapolis left cars frozen in place, their tires stuck in inches of thick ice.
I'm feeling cold.
The Arctic air has been blasting more than 170 million Americans for days and raising concerns about frostbite. Classes were canceled for thousands of students in Detroit, but one district, West Bloomfield, didn't think 3-degree temperatures were brisk enough to call off school. Frustrated students took to Twitter, naming all of the things that were more likely to happen than them being given the day off. One student said, "My 25-year-old brother will get his license and move out before WB closes." The good news is that although temperatures in many parts of the country are expected to remain in the low teens through the weekend, many parts of the Midwest and East Coast are expected to start warming up next week. It's been almost 2 decades since Toni Bachman was last seen. Her brother, Tim Rhinexis, says every year without answers has been unbearable.
Never give up hope to know what happened.
Police initially suspected Toni's husband, Norman, of being involved. On April 25, 1997, police said Toni emailed a friend saying her husband was on his way home to continue an argument from earlier that day. No one heard from her again. At the time, investigators didn't have enough evidence to charge Norman with a crime.
You just don't disappear. You don't lose that much contact.
3 years ago, police reopened the case. On Tuesday, 2 weeks shy of 18 years since Toni disappeared, Norman Bachman was arrested in the case. For Tim, it's only the first step to getting justice.
Tell the truth. Just tell the truth. We need the closure.
Toni Bachman's body has never been found, and her brother was never able to properly say goodbye. He tells me what's even more heartbreaking is both of their parents died without closure.
I saw what it did to my mom. And it tore her up.